Welcome everyone back to the 52-week web 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 series. I'm Akeisha Foster, your GovCon coach. Let's get started. So, to this week we're talking about understanding your niche. Some say niche, some say niche, it's whatever, your service. And we're training our small business and government contracts. So, I just wanted to start it off with that. And then next we want to talk about, let me get to my slide. Today's agenda. Okay, why defining your niche is critical, the key challenges and the solutions. And then I wanted to give you a real world coaching example. How we walk through things with our clients and how we help them to just flush out all the things that involved in identifying their services to sell to the government, to the B2C, the business to consumer, or B2B to another business, because you got to get started somewhere. And then we're going to do a lessons learned. And then I have a guest for you for the lessons learned and then the next step. So we want to just keep everything like we always. So why define your niche? Because it helps you focus your effort. If you're not focused in the effort and how you plan on position yourself as an expert, then it's just mute. You're just going all over the place and not really defining what you should be focusing on. That's why that's the first thing. We got to find out your current state. Where are you currently in your business? What services are you offering in your business? And then how are you showing up? How are you presenting that to the customer? And so that's why it's important that you define your niche. Okay. And then it makes marketing sales easier because you've defined it. You've flushed everything out. Now you know how to define it. And so therefore it increases your clients' trust because they know that you've been there, done that. You've done this for other clients. And then it convert more clients and everything. So now some of the key challenges faced. Most small business, they lack the clarity on their services, and many small businesses try to offer too much. And I always say, let's focus on one core service at a time. Let's do one core service at a time and then rinse and repeat. Then you can add another one, but identify that service first. So for example, the social media management. I had my social media specialist start off with one service, one product, start with one account, whether it's going to be 4 posts per week, and then how much you're going to charge. And so what I did was I brought the social media specialist on to give you some of those lessons learned, some of the things that she found, and then she refined and made better. So that way, she had a good service offerings to provide. And then after she finished that, then I'm going to go to the rest of the challenges and then give you some more examples. We're going to talk about the PSC codes and other things of that nature. But first, I want to introduce you to Prashan. Prashan, please go ahead and let us know.
Hello, everyone. I'm Prashan. I'm a social media specialist and I manage KeyToLife Services. But I started with the military. So right after I graduated from high school, I got out of the service after 4 years. And then I went to school. I went to Media Tech Institute in Dallas. And I took different programs that would help me with my editing skills. And I didn't initially want to do it for others. I was doing it for myself. And so that's how I gained some experience. And I was like, this is something I might want to do. So I want to really hone in on my craft. So I took these 2 courses, the animation and the visual effects diploma program. And then I did the digital film and video associate of applied science degree program. So then I started with managing my own social media account. I would pay attention to the stats and I was figuring out what things really stood out to people and how could I get more people to watch more of these videos. And I paid attention to the patterns. So then when I saw that I like to do it, my mom kept telling me that she wanted some help with her social media. And so then I was like, well, maybe I can manage you. So then I would log into her different accounts, and then I would start with editing videos, and then they would be different styles and things. And then I would see what was working. I would see what people wanted to watch, what topics they wanted to hear. So then I would advise, I'd be like, hey, maybe we should talk more about this, or maybe we should post more videos that look like this, because more people will click on them and you'll get more views and more followers. So I did that for her Facebook, her Instagram. I was creating and scheduling posts. So I would go in on YouTube, I would upload the video, and then sometimes we would schedule it out if I had the video ready already. And so I gained more experience with editing and watching those things. So I really was like honing in on that one thing. So because I knew I wanted to do social media, because I just felt like I knew how to reach people. So then shortly afterwards, I put together a portfolio, and then I put together my resume. So then I started applying to different social media jobs, and then I would have receipts. I'd be like, hey, I started with her when we were here. And then I started posting videos. I started tagging. I started paying attention to what people like, and we would post more of that, and we would see growth. So I got my second job managing a small fitness gym, and I managed their social media accounts. And then they showed me a different platform. So this platform would have all the different social media. And then I would go in, and then I would go from one platform to the next. And then I would say, hey, I'm going to post on this day. This is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to post on the next day, and this is what we're going to talk about. And then as I got more into my portfolio, I was like, okay, well, these clients don't always want the same thing. They don't always want the same look. So I had to really pay attention to, what was going on for this client and what was going on for that client. So we put together a timeline. So one of my clients would want me to do monthly recurring service, and I would do like 4 posts a month. So I edit 1 video a week. And then another client wanted me to post daily. So I would be creating like TikToks, different Instagram ads, and I was really just getting more and more experience and becoming more and more seasoned. So then I was like, okay, well, where I'm at, where should I be charging? So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do $20 an hour for this service, because, I never even thought that this could possibly be a job, So when I was like, well, people are going to pay me to do this, I should get better. So I looked at my timeline in the field, and I was like, well, how much experience do I have? And that was how I chose what price I would charge for my service. Like we really just need to monitor how we're doing and track our results and learn how to do what we know how to do really well. And you repeat what works. So that's how you really focus on your niche. Mm-hmm. And that's how I focused on my niche. Mm-hmm. So thank you for letting me share my story. I hope that helps someone. So you can take it back over, Miss Akeisha.
All right. Well, let's keep getting to it.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. So now let's talk about how, now that you've heard the story, now let's put the pieces together. We had to identify the service she was doing already with the commercial sector, right? So now you're going to take all that knowledge that you've learned and start offering it to local education, universities, colleges. They're always looking, healthcare, they're always looking for social media. And how you do that is you will go to the PSC code, the product service code, so you can identify your product service code, right? Then the first thing, so understanding what is your service code, right? Is if you said social media, now let's go see if I can sell this to the government. That's how you tie commercial and the government together. You have to start getting the experience somehow. You have to. So how we got that started is, okay, now we know it's social media. Now we have to go find the product service code. Either it's going to be in the research and development codes, IT services, or just the service codes, or if you're selling a product. So then I took her step by step through the way. So that way, because the goal was to eventually get a local at the in Texas, be their social media. That way, when it's time to go to the federal, you have that local state experience. Then you can take it to the federal. But you got to do it one project at a time. Just those small steps, getting started with one thing at a time. So once I took her through the codes, then we went to the next phase of the codes. Then we had to go look at, so we had to look in what category it was in the service. It's in the our support, professional, administrative, and management. So then once we went through that, but if you want to do training, then you know that's in the uniform, the U, education and training, what you in construction. Go to your service code first. So now once you've got that service code, then next you have to go to, let's get to the next thing. Then now that we've got to the service code, excuse me, let me get a little. We got our service code. Now we have to go in and identify what's next, right? So we're in the service codes. Let me pull it down. Uh-oh, I done went to the next page. I apologize. Okay, so now we're going to pull it down. You got to be going real slow. Okay, so you see the non-medical, you got barbershop. So if you have a barbershop, I go through this. You print this page out because we're talking about the service. So once you print this page out, you just go in and highlight. So let me make it a little bit so you can see it all. And you're going to highlight brokerage. Well, if you're doing land surveys, now you're starting to identify. So like the program management, on this example, we have the program management. So let's go back in here. So you can sell program management, right? You got the social media as one of our examples. Market research. Well, then that's the Romeo 422. That's the market research. Or if it's project management, you can make that's a 2 to 4 week project. So how you deal with those the first challenge was you lack clarity. So the solution was to focus on one service. And then the key challenge, your pricing and your packaging of the service, because at the beginning, you don't know how much the charge. So just get started. Go do the Google search. Go find out what is your competitive charge so you can be in the competitive range. And then scale. But you got to get started. So those market research reports, you can start doing that now in the commercials, because you want to find stuff that can be applied in the local and then in the federal. So that way you're slowly, first of all, you're diversifying your portfolio, because we see what's going on right now with the administration. They're cutting contracts. They're changing things. So you want to have a diversified portfolio, number one. Okay. And then building your credibility. Challenge number 3 is building that credibility because we don't know what you don't know. And then gathering those new testimonials, because that's how you start with the small wins. And then, so let me go back to it, because I want to finish making sure you understand how you look at these codes. So you see the Romeo 408 is the support professionals program management. See, you got, if you deal with policies, if you do operations research, it's a lot in here. And then after you've done that, you got the contract. Now, I'm PSC code Romeo 707. I do all things government contract, acquisition support, everything of that nature. That's why I got the DWIA level 3 certified. And now I'm working on my CMC, all my certifications, because I always mix up the name. So I'm working on the certifications now. And then I planned it out by the quarter. So this quarter, I'm going to work on this. This next quarter, I'm going to work on this, because the way we have it is 4 quarters in every year. So just doing small steps toward one goal at a time. Because when I was doing everything, I was spreading myself too thin. When I was trying to do project management and acquisition, it wasn't good for me. So I went and partnered with a program manager who had the program management PMP, and I have the acquisition. And then we go after opportunities together. So these different strategies, but you have have to know your service first. You have to have the certification first. If you do tax, if you are expert witness, certification and accreditations, you just take your time, keep going through all of them, and you'll see the market research and public opinions. But then you go into sam.gov and then go in the contract opportunities and put those PSC codes in there to see if they are offering that service. And are they buying it? I mean, well, are they buying that service? Because if you're creating and getting all this experience and building all this past performance for a service they ain't buying, it's mute. So that's why you're going to take your time out, do the research, do it in order, and then see who's buying. Who's buying what you said, and which agency is buying what you. What we're doing is building our past performance and experience, our skills, and our certification. Then we'll be able to graduate to the next phase. Then we'll be able to charge more at the next phase. You see? So I'm going to continue to bring on these experts and testimonials and personal stories of clients I've worked with, my employees, so other subcontractors I'm working with, team and partners. I definitely want to talk. Anyway, so do the research. You have to do the research so you can know that your service is being purchased. Okay, and then advice for your expiring subcontractors: start small, then scale. Start small, then scale. Focus on one core service, because I'm telling you, I'll stretch myself so thin that you burn out, then you're ready to give up. I don't want to do this no more. This doesn't work. But had I just took my time focusing and then rest. When you get tired, take a rest. Don't just take a knee, rest, think, put it all together, and then be like, okay, all right, that didn't work. All I did was burn myself out. That didn't work. I didn't have a quality of life. There was no work-life balance. I didn't get to see my family, friends. I mean, I was just on the grind. And so then you can come back and do it all over again. So focus on that one core service, and then just keep changing it. And then everybody's not going to understand when you're trying to change stuff, when you're going up on your pricing, because everything else is going up. You got to pay your bills. You got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay your employees. And, you know, everybody is not going to understand. But that means that you have moved to a different level sometimes. And you could do the best you can with what you have. Now, build that solid past performance with those small projects, and then start documenting, track and measure. And then you just keep tracking and measuring. You build your invoicing and all that, and position yourself for teaming. Position yourself for teaming. All right, because you can't do it alone. One could put 1,000 to flight. Two can put 10,000. I mean, it's real. That's what the Bible says, and I believe it. Okay. And I built my business like that, starting off with myself. And then I added that virtual assistant who was key. Oh my God, she was godsend. Took so much stress and pressure off me. And then I was able to focus. And then when I had to self-perform on some of those contracts, having a back office, and then I was able to add my social media manager and all the different other people in the team, you know, and outsourcing the bookkeeping, outsourcing the taxes. But you got to have your income coming in so you can do that. So that's why it's important that you define that service. Okay. Then when you do your networking, find out where their need is. What is their need? What do they need? Can you bring to the team? And then make sure you register and optimize your DSBS profile, because that's what they're looking for. And then I also say use your LinkedIn, because I'm always on LinkedIn, seeing who's who, because that's our community. That's our business community on LinkedIn. And make sure you have those capability statements ready too. Okay, tip, your first contract isn't your biggest win. Your biggest win is the momentum, the overtime. It took me years to get here. It took me years to be able to be consistently posting content. It took me years of developing my skills and training and mentoring other small business. And then finally, I believe that was, take action. And then stay tuned. So what's your story? Share your challenges in the comments below. You know I'm going to get to you as soon as I can. And then if you get anything in there that I can record another video to keep adding to the community. If there's something that you learned along the way that you want to share with the community, please feel free. Okay, let me know what's working for you, where you need to get another video that I need to record. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn and then subscribe to get the updates. And when you're ready to take the next step, we have a group coaching program out there, one-on-one coaching out there for you. And not sure, just book a clarity call. You know, we can talk about it. We can walk through it because you're not ready to make that long-term commitment. Just do the clarity call. And then that will set you off for another, 3-6 months, or we can just do quarterly calls. So we can see, are you on your quarterly goals? Are you on your planning? But just like I always tell you, look, we all work in our business. And so you have to put that energy in the business if you want it to grow and to see the success. And then for my Upwork consultations and projects, I can only take a few of those every month. So just send me a message and I'll add you to the wait list. Believe me, and be patient with me. I apologize, but it's a lot going on. And with the administration changes and so many things changing, we have to be very cautious and just keep it together. And stay tuned for the next training. I'm going to be talking about understanding your small business set-asides. Well, I hope this was enjoyable for you to everyone. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye now. Let's talk about the importance of having a coach. A coach challenges you, keeps you accountable, and helps you unlock your full potential. And as a GovCon coach, this is exactly what we do for our small business. We provide guidance, strategies, and support needed to navigate the complex world of government contract. And together is how you reach new heights. And the best athletes out there know this: the Simone Biles, the Shakira Richardsons, the Serena Williams. So if you feel like you are ready to take it to the next height, join the group coaching program.